So in this case, we can proceed to another speaker. Speakers presenting like topic about readings from the book of Mankind, donating data for peace. So presenter will be Steven Klinger, together with Milan Mijalkovic from Macedonia, artist. So floor is yours, dear Mr. Klinger. So you can share the slide and start presenting.
So, thank you very much. Tamara, do you see the presentation?
Yes, we see it.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, thank you very much and welcome to our presentation, Readings from the Book of Mankind, Donating Data for Peace. I'm very glad to give this presentation together with Milan Mijalkovic, who is an artist, because artists, or in general the arts and science and also sometimes religion, fulfill some quite same desires of the human beings, the desire for metaphysics or for understanding what's happening there. Regarding the happening here, we definitely follow a very naive and positive approach, but we want to show you a different picture about the data and the technology that we have here. Structure in messy data. What you see here is, I think, one of the world's most or highly applied biometric identity scheme. It was developed in India, the Aadhaar system. They succeeded in less than 10 years to store all the data, all the biometric data, all the demographic data of, I think, 95 or 98% of the Indian population. And I'm not talking about the urban areas, I'm talking also about the rural areas, into a big database. And with the difference to China, where they also make use it for primarily for the government, in India this is more or less open source. It's in a large register, quite comparable to our European registers for companies or land ownership, for example. Everybody can access it, and when you access it according to one of these QI codes there, then you will find all the demographic data, all the documents or scanned documents of the people there. You will find the 10 fingerprints of the people. You will find the retina scans of the iris, and you will also find some measurement of the morphology of the face there. And they succeeded in this in less than 10 years. Structure data. Second thing, the translating system on the internet got better and better, especially at that point of time when IBM and later on Google stopped their approach to structure the data before they do something with that. So beforehand, they were working with translators and tried to give some kind of a word-to-word translation. And most of the sentences didn't really make sense. But when they stopped searching for structures or structuring the data, and they changed their approach, and they included structure in their algorithms and trained them to search for structure in messy data, this definitely made a difference. They started with the minutes of the Canadian Parliament because the minutes of the Canadian Parliament are bilingual, English and French, and therefore they just trained the algorithm, find some good matches there, and then they had some translators also correcting it, and then they ended up in the European Parliament, with much more different languages and multilingual translations. And so the algorithms are training themselves nowadays on the web pages of large business corporations, because all their financial statement reports are done in many, many different languages worldwide. And so this is where the algorithms train themselves, and they search for correlations. Not so much about the cause, what is the cause for the proper translation for that word, they search for correlations. One example regarding the correlations is the example of the New York building inspectors. There was a report in Kukia Meyer Schönberger in the Journal for Foreign Affairs from the director of the New York building inspectors, and like many other heads in worldwide of authorities, he had the problem. He had too many buildings to check on and to make some on-site inspections on, and too few people. Yeah, and then there was another budget cut, and then he said, "Okay, my dear government of New York, I want to have an expert in big data. I want to have some guy who is really good in statistics." Yeah? And because data protection in the United States is somehow different than to our thing here in Europe, yeah? They provided this statistics big data guy also with all the data from all the authorities in the greater New York area. Yeah? So the port authorities, police, fire brigade, the town hall, yeah, the tax authorities, everything. Yeah, it was a big cloud of data. Yeah? And the task of this researcher, of this big data expert, was just to find correlations. And he calculated. And after a couple of months, he came back to the director of the New York building inspectors and said, "Job is done. I found two very strong correlations. The one is the strongest negative correlation, and then I also encountered the strongest positive correlation. The strongest negative correlation was if this building has a permission for a specific exterior brickworking, yeah, that is supposed to be very fire resistant, yeah? And this was the strongest negative correlation with any problem in the building. Yeah? And the strongest positive correlation was number of times that the police has to drive to this address. It was not any other things like we would tend to say, okay, this makes sense. Like if there is a subway going down under the building, if there is some geothermal tectonic plate or anything like that, it was the police. The number that the police comes to a specific address. Yeah? This is, according to the statistics, the strongest correlation to any problem in this building, despite be it fire or be it somehow a collapse of the building. And the New York building inspector boss did not really understand what was the cause for that, but he just gave it a try. He mended the whole on-site inspection plans. And after, I think it was 3 years or something, the success rate or the results rate of the on-site inspection shot up from 15% beforehand to 75% after this measurement. He didn't really understand why. He didn't know the cause. But he found out by just looking on the correlations and following the advice of the big data correlation, he could be more powerful in doing his job there. Milan, what do you say?
And I, Milan Mijalkovic from Macedonia, reply. Only when the multitude, the masses, the vast majority, also in terms of vast amounts of data, have sovereignty over chance, over randomness, only then can there be proper governance. Only then can there finally be fair rule. Randomness will finally be conquered when Tüche, when Fortuna and the exalted gods of randomness have been foiled, then responsibility will be gone forever, and guilt will finally be gone. In truth, we have endeavored to avoid this through our ancestors, through the observation of birds, stones, or stars, We have shifted responsibility to clouds, bones, oracles, kings, stock exchanges, pools, markets, or God Himself. The people as a whole have tried it too and called it democracy, but guilt was constant and always there because randomness wanted it that way, since tyranny and randomness were one and the same.
What can be such a book of mankind? What you see here is maybe just one first idea of the book of mankind. When you turn on Google and when you insert the first 3-4 characters, Google seems to know you better every day, yeah, with this automatic composition method. At least it is the case with me. When we extrapolate this power, what Google nowadays has, based on correlations, not on the cause, we could imagine maybe that after a couple of years where Apple or any other company stores all the data on all the devices worldwide, and the software is powerful enough that it can really search for all those data that we as human beings donate or deliver to Google, Apple, whosoever, maybe to all ourselves. Maybe this will be a database where we can calculate based on correlations our actions, our decisions. Maybe this could be a book of humankind where we can find out that we are really equal, because when we all donate our data and the data is calculated and gives us some indication based on correlations for our actions, for our decisions, for example, maybe we can really see, okay, it was quite nice to search for the cause of actions, yeah, since the Enlightenment, but just following the correlation makes us much more powerful as human beings. And maybe this book of mankind could be encrypted and engrafted somehow into our personality, pretty much like we know from the old Tautauierung, like from this Maori mystery that we have here. Maybe this book of mankind, we can find the similarities and consistencies of human actions. Maybe we would be able to see our actions are more effective when we follow this correlation. Milan, for a final, please.
Now the decisions will come on their own because the people, because humankind is finally choosing the right system, the egalitarian system. But this system is not democracy, it's statistics. If statistics makes it possible for us to make decisions before the democratic choice itself, when the right decision, the real solution is in our pockets, at our fingertips, then the decision will be universal, the decision will be 100% correct. The decision will be 100% correct. And only then will the sick, the lazy, the ineffective, the unproductive, the obnoxious, the lost, the sinful, the in-debt, the murderous, the secretive, the dishonest, and the devil himself will be gone. There will be no longer be the sick or the blind, because statistics is the computer. It is a machine. Flavius Philostratus, the sophist, knew. For the gods perceive what lies in the future, and man what is going on before them, and the wise, what is approaching. It is not gods or man that foresee the approaching, but the machines. The wise ones are the computers, the statistics, the correlations, the data, and the archives. We now need to truly learn to love computers, learn how to sacrifice for them, sacrifice our data, and then the gods will love us. Only then will there finally be peace. The data belongs to everyone. Data belongs to everyone. Data for peace.
Applause.
So applause. Thank you very much to this very just elevated presentation about data protection, and it's like a very just interesting and like extraordinary manner. I think that we all only have like 1 minute for question or comment from the audience member. So if there are any, you are welcome. But I think it's like it was really just maybe climax of the day of conference day.